Howdy folks, welcome to episode 74. We're gonna see if we can finish off these oil barrels. There was one that was only had like 18 things on it, so there were actually two that were missing. So check it out. We did. I went into the save editor and fixed it. So I was right about the one that had 17 on them. If everything else was full, it should have had 18. So. But I was off by that and a whole lot more because the one that only had 18 things on it. So we're going to go this way. Here, let me show you. See, there's that one that only has 18 on it. We're going to go this way, and I think we're going to need somebody to move those, aren't we? Okay. Pretty sure we're going to need somebody to move those. And then... because where is our... I mean, we could just go around this way. It's actually just as fast. We'll just do that. We're going to go around this way. So we're going to go up here. Yeah, it's still coming around the corner, so we'll take it easy a little bit. Yeah, I still have fuel and stuff. Okay. We're going to go set all the switches. Set all the switches, this one, and then we're going to take this way and this way. And that's going to bring us down here. We're going to go this way and this way. Yep, and then we're going to go here, and we're going to stop there. Perfect. Freight depot. The money place. I can never remember the name of it. I love it. All right, cool. Awesome. So I've decided that I am going to make my own game. Not this. It's not going to be trains. But I've got a whole bunch of game design ideas that I've had in my head for a long time. And a couple of them you've seen in previous devlogs and that kind of thing that I started on, but then ran into technical hurdles and that kind of stuff. This one I'm doing a prototype, just proof of concept. I've got the physics down for it, which is basically that's the gameplay. If the physics works, then the gameplay is awesome. If the physics doesn't work, then the gameplay is horrible. It's one of those things. It's kind of like this, you know, where like if you're playing and the trains are popcorning all over the place and stuff, it's not really fun. Like the multiplayer, you know, people just find it unplayable. That's why I'm not playing multiplayer on this. Because I probably would go play multiplayer with people. But yeah. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. But, here, let's get this up a little bit. But yeah, I haven't decided whether I want to show anything or not, because I've been watching this guy who is also a game designer, and you know, he mentioned something that I've experienced in the past is you show things to people who don't have the same amount of imagination, whatever you want to call it, who haven't been through the experience of creating things. If you show a painter your oil painting that's like, you know, you've only done the first layer and it's just like the dark and light things, they understand that that's not the completed product, and they understand that what it's going to look like, you know, when you put more layers of paint on it and all that stuff. And so I don't know why I'm making this analogy, because it's not like any of you are oil painters any more than you're game designers, you know what I mean? Or likely, you know, you're more likely probably to be a game dev than an oil painter. But anyway, the whole point is, you know, you show it and people get this idea, and it's not just that they don't like it at that time. It's like that's the idea that gets stuck in their head, and then they can't see past that. And then they basically refuse to look at anything further, and that stuff too. So, and I know that sounds ridiculous or unrealistic, but I've experienced it multiple times in my life with various art forms and creative things, where you try to show something that you're a work in progress that you're creating, and unless they do the same sort of, like if you show music, you know, if you have some music that's not completed yet and you're going to change instruments around or remaster it or all that stuff, and you show it to a fellow musician who knows all that stuff, that they understand that. They can see how it's going to be better. But you show that to somebody who only ever listens to music and doesn't actually create any, they can't tell what's going to change about it. They just think it sounds horrible or whatever, you know, unpolished, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, it's like spending the entire time talking about that. But anyway, I have made... I did an indie project back in the 90s. And I also was a designer for a AAA company before I decided I didn't like it and quit. So I do have some experience in this stuff. But we'll see how long it takes. It looks like it's going to go pretty quick. The thing I need is, because I can do all the programming and stuff, I need art. So that's the part I'm going to have to figure out. Why is there a tree sticking out of that rock? There's a tree inside the rock. But yeah, I need, I'm going to have to find, you know, once I get everything proven out and stuff, I'm definitely going to have to find a way to get some really good assets and that kind of thing. So we'll see. I'll have to either find an artist that is willing to work together and split the, you know, the outcome of it, or whatever. But we'll see. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to keep doing episodes. I haven't decided since we finished this, I haven't decided if I want to do a new map. Maybe you can tell me if you have a preference either way. In the comments. Leave a comment below, right? But yeah, you know, I may or may not start a new map. I like this map because you don't have the ridiculous hills. But it's also been forever since I did Pine Valley, and I can't even remember what the other maps were. The one was kind of ridiculous, and I do like that they have the tunnels here and stuff. Maybe we'll flesh out this map more, and we'll do like the meat industry at full capacity this time, instead of, I think that's what I'll do in the interim before I decide, is once we finish this, we'll start doing the meat industry like at full capacity, like we did with the other ones, where we like max out the inputs or max out the outputs or whatever it is, and do that. So we'll have like a zillion cows or whatever it is. We'll have to go look. We'll go look at what their numbers are on that. And what do we have for? I can't hit P. Here. Let's start slowing down. There we go. Let me see. How much money do we have? Now, if I go back into this, I think it'll keep showing my money. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Funds, 2.6 million. All right. We're going to go like this. It's taking a while, too. All right, so let's bring our regulator up to, like, a tiny little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it, as far as coasting through this. This one should be ready to go. Cool. And yeah, so we'll get this unloaded. It's looking like we can go a little bit faster. I want to get 2 of them unloading at a time. It might be faster just to do this. Instead of unloading 1 at a time, it'd be faster if I just bring this all the way up to where this one is at the very front end, and just unload 3. I think it's 3 or 4 of them you can get at a time. It's faster than doing 1. I can tell you that much. This one we can do too. All right, so we're going to bring this up until this one is at the very front. So we'll get this stopped here. Let's see. We'll do this. And then, nice. We can do 5. That's cool. That's much faster. It's just raining barrels. They still look like Donkey Kong barrels to me for some reason. I don't know why. Something about the straps or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's the shade of blue or whatever. Where else have you seen blue barrels, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's what all the metric barrels are blue or something, right? All right, we can start moving here. There we go. So this one, 3. Number 4. So we're going to go until we can do this one. Until this one is done. About right there. There we go. All right, perfect. And then we can even start moving because this one is done. This one's going to be done. There we go. Yep, we're going to keep up with these. We're going to go like this. So this one. This one. All right. Looks like we found the right speed. A little bit. Should do this. Then I can actually see where they are. Looks like we're going to make it up here. Yeah. All right, we're going to stop this one up here. There we go. That's the last one. All right, cool. Cool, that's all of them. So those are going to unload. We had like 6.1, I think. So we made, what, 60,000 on that? Something like that. All right, we're going to let those unload. And then we're going to go check out the let me see, map. Let's look at the map here. So with the meat industry, what is the first one? The first one is the farm, because we did the gold too. So let's go like this, and let's look at the industries. Wheat farm is the first one. So we need seed pallets, and those go on the flat things, don't they? Seed pallets and water. We need seed pallets and water, and then we need straw bales and grain to carry away. So we need those 4 types of cars: seed pallet, water, grain, and straw bale. I really wish... Is there freight? Let's see. Straw bale. Does it say? Is with the bulkhead. Okay. That's these ones, isn't it? That's the ones I have. And then straw bale and What was the other thing you get out of the wheat farm? And grain. The grain goes into the Burnham Shops boxcar. Okay. And then the seed pallets. The boxcars. Okay, so we use the same boxcars. So we need a bunch of those boxcars. And then we need the bulkheads and the water ones, the farm water ones. Okay. So the seed pallets, let's check out, let's find our wheat farm, wherever it is. Where even is the wheat farm? I think those are all over on this side of the map, aren't they? That's the cattle farm. That's the wheat. Do we not have... We have a track to that. Yeah, we do. I'm like, we have a track to that because we made... That's where we need to circularize, right there. Circularize. Okay. Circularize. So we need to make 40 of each. In order to make 40 of each... Okay, so let's take that and the wheat farm. So we need 80 of these, 80 seed pallets and 80 water. Right? 80 seed pallets and 80 water. Or do we need 100? Why don't we load up even more of those? So, yeah. 100 seed pallets, 100. Yeah, because if we load more than that, then we're going to not be able to get those. Let me see. So we need the box cars. Let's go find our box cars. Let's find our box cars. We need these bulkheads. And our box cars may be these ones right over here. Let's see what this is. That's the ventilated. Okay, those are the ones for the meat. All right, we're going to have to find them. We're going to have to locate them. So, we're going to have to play map. We're just going to play map today. No, I think they're over here. I think the box cars are... Those are the gondolas. And then we had water tank. Those are the water tank cars that we need. And the box cars. Okay, so what is the... We have 2 of the box cars? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 of the box cars. So how much do the Burnham... Be really nice if you could... They can carry 14 seed pallets. So 7. So we need a lot more of those. Okay. We need 8 box cars. Because they can carry 12 grain. Yeah. Okay. So we need 6 more box cars. I mean, we might just do 8 that way. And what about the what about the bulkheads? The bulkheads are used for what? Sorry. Bulkheads are used for what was it? It's got to be the straw bales. Freight straw bales. And does it say? The bulkheads. Let's go look up the bulkheads. This. We can carry 15 per. Okay, so we have way more than we need as far as those go, don't we? Okay. 15, and we're going to need... yeah, we're going to need like 10 of those. Something like that. Okay. So we need to disconnect this and put in some box cars. So let's first... let's get this off to the side. We're going to do this because we're going to get this off the main line. We get this off the main line, and then we'll put our box cars on. We'll get our box cars and put them on. Where's that switch? There it is. There we go. All right. And then flip that switch, and we should be good to back up. Yep, we'll put these back here. Whoops. Probably don't want to be going that fast because we do need to stop here before we hit those other cars. Right? Oh, we got room. Okay. All right. So we're going to stop here. And then we're going to disconnect because those are the straw bales, and we're going to get 40 straw bales out. We only need 4 of these, don't we? Okay. All right. 4 of these. And then we need 8 of the box cars. Let's go back here. There we go. All right. And then we should be able to just stick all the box cars on here. Let's see. We need 8 of those. Probably should do this. We're going to put the box cars on first because those are going to be heavier. All right. Let's go forward again. And we need to leave room for like 8 cars. I don't think we're going to have time to get all these. No, maybe we will. Maybe we will have time to get all these on here. All right. We'll see if we can. That should leave us enough room to get them all. Okay, so we need box cars. That helps. The Burnham box cars. Because that's the ones that do the grain in the seed pallet, right? Why is it stuck on that? Now it's stuck. I don't understand why it just got stuck on my mouse. That was weird. It got stuck on my mouse. Okay. Oh, it's because I clicked... No, that wasn't it. So this one only does tools and cattle. That one does meat. This is the one. Yeah, so we need 8 of these. Customize. How many paint jobs do we have? They're all the same. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to order 8 of them. All right, so let's go like this. See where it put them all. Of course it put them all in front of us. Why would it not? Why is my mouse suddenly like... I must have clicked the DPI button on my mouse. Like all of a sudden my mouse like is all twitchy. I move it like a, you know, a millimeter and it spins around 360. Maybe we can do a 360 no scope. Look at that. You put him like a mile up there. That's 1.6 kilometers for those of you on the on the metric system. All right. Look at this. Why? All right. It's crazy. Okay. It was nuts. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's get this. I'm really glad they let the player fly. Because that walking back and forth to re-rail all those because walking is realistic, but re-railing these by like clicking on them is realistic. You know what I mean? It's like there's points where you got to make gameplay decisions that override your desire for realism, and that's definitely one of them. If you're going to do that, you know, if you're that obsessed with realism, then you probably should have had like a crane is required to, you know, come along, and you got to like bring a crane thing and drag cars all over. I guess you'd probably need something with a winch on it too, because the cars aren't necessarily going to be within reach of the crane from the track. Okay, we're going to take the brakes off all these, and then we'll back into all of them. And then we need to go get our water cars. And instead of buying water cars, we are going to go get them. But I think that'll be next episode. I don't think we're going to have time to go get all the water cars. Plus, I need to sit down and do the math and figure out how many cars of each, because it's not fun for you to watch me do math. I'm pretty sure that's not. I know some of you are here for the airplane references and Spaceballs references, other obscure movie quotes. Which is a neurodivergent thing, just FYI. In case you didn't already know that. All right. And let me see how fast. Yeah, I'm going 5. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to go turn off the brakes on this. And then go back. Whee! And we'll be in the train before it. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Bonk. All right. There we go. Cool. So we've got... All right, we've got all those, and I think that is going to be it for episode 74. Join me in episode 75. We will get... you know, we probably need to start putting like the coal things in and change the fuel consumption and all that stuff too. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that eventually. I kind of don't feel like it. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for episode 74. Join me in episode 75. We will go get our water cars, and we'll start filling all this stuff up. And you know what? I think we need to fill the seed pallets before we go, too. So, yeah, join me in episode 75, and we'll see you then. Later.